Yo, what's going on everybody, External Flash here. Today we're going to be reviewing Dragon Ball Super Episode 1 Funimation dub. So, oh my goodness, it's finally here. If you're like me, I can watch the Japanese dub for Dragon Ball. I don't necessarily dislike it, it's just not my cup of tea. I have seen all of Super in Japanese so far, but you know, I grew up with this Funimation dub, and it's just so good, right? And I've been waiting for this for so long. Anyway, let's get into it. So, pretty much the episode starts off with Goku and pretty much training with his tractor and stuff like that. It's a new setting. It's a couple months, I believe, after the Buu arc. And it's just kind of funny seeing Goku work with tractors and stuff like that. Goten flies up and Goku's like, oh, why don't you use tractor while I eat? So, you know, they're all doing that stuff. Then we see some Beerus. This man Beerus is on a planet. They're cooking him loads and loads of food. And this man says, your food tastes good. I'm only gonna take half of your planet. Taps the table and blows up half of their planet. Beerus is a savage. You know, from someone who's watched a lot of Dragon Ball Super, and especially towards the middle, it's gotten better now in terms of animation, but in the middle for a while the animation was consistently bad, and so it made me forget that some of the early episodes were actually really good. And this first episode in particular looked really nice. It looked really smooth, really clear, really good. The animation was on point, the art was on point. It was pretty much 10 out of 10 for me. So that's nice. In terms of the voice actresses and actors, they pretty much kept the same cast. They changed Goten, Trunks, and I believe Chi-Chi is all I picked up so far. I'm not 100% sure if Chi-Chi's changed. If she hasn't changed, then the actress did a little something different with her voice. But Goten, it's gonna take some adapting for Goten, right? It's gonna take some adapting, but it's alright. Trunks is pretty much spot on. Like, Trunks is really nice. I really like the Trunks voice actress. So that's pretty much that. Everybody else is the same, and they did a wonderful performance. I loved it. It gave me so much more feeling for this episode than I've had for any episode, really. Like, I'm just a dub lover for Dragon Ball, and I really enjoyed this episode with dub. Anyways, back on topic. So pretty much this episode centers around Goten and Trunks trying to get a wedding gift for Videl and Gohan. There were a lot of really nice Videl and Gohan moments in this episode, especially with the one where, like, she's got her arm around Gohan, and he's like, oh man, it sucks because I can't buy you anything, but you're buying me things. And I think that's a really good moment for those two. It really shows, you know, they care for each other, and money is no, like, object for their relationship. I really think that's cool. I think it's really nice to see. For those of you who haven't watched the Japanese Super or any of that, and maybe only seen the movies, it's cool to see some of that, because in the movies they don't necessarily show that type of stuff for Gohan and Videl. So if you're going straight from the Buu saga to Super, then that was kind of cool to see, I think. So then you got Goten and Trunks kind of like, you know, searching for the hot springs for the water. They have to beat up a snake because the snake is kind of trying to attack them and eat them, and like the snake keeps trying to like smash the bowl. It's not really boring, but it wasn't really cool either. To me, I found that scene interesting just because I got to hear the different sounds that the voice actresses could make for the characters. And I was kind of just listening to see how they would adapt to the character, because I'm really into voice acting and stuff like that. I really listen to characters, to how they portray them, and, you know, do all this stuff with them. So I was just like, alright, let me just see what they have with these characters, and see if I prefer them over the old ones. And overall, I can get used to this. I really like it. Goten's the only one that's just iffy to me right now. But I will adapt. I will get used to it. so that's not an issue. So then it moves on. Goten and Goku were just staring into the sunset, and this scene right here, guys, this scene right here really made my day, because it shows you just how close Goku and Goten have become. And you guys know Goku wasn't in the first couple of early years of Goten's life. He was dead, and now that he's in now, you know, that's pretty dope. And my personal reason to why I really think it's cool is, if you remember with Gohan, Goku didn't really get to spend too much quality time with Gohan as he started to grow up. And the reason for that is they had so many battles to fight. Gohan didn't really have a chance to be a normal child for a while. He had to get his shit together and go fight at Namek, fight the androids, fight Cell, then went to school, then had to fight Boo and all this other stuff, you know what I mean? So Goku didn't really have a whole lot of time to be with Gohan like that, and because Goku was dead from the Cell Saga to the Boo Saga. Pretty much what I'm getting at is pretty cool to see Goku actually spending time with his son that's not fighting. Anywho, freaking Mr. Satan pops up. By the way, they call him Mr. Satan now, which is how he is in the Japanese dub, I'm pretty sure. They call him Mr. Satan, which before they called him Hercule, or Hercule Satan, or something like that. So he shows up with 100 million Zeni. So he shows up with a briefcase and hands it to Goku, and he's like, listen, I got this reward for saving the Earth, and you did more than I did, so I think you deserve it more than anyone else. So he hands it to Goku. Goku doesn't want to take it, but then Goten says, you know, Dad, you could probably go train with King Kai if you come home and hand Mom 100 million Zeni. So Goku's like, you're a smart kid. So he takes the briefcase, heads home, and pretty much, long story short, he gets to go to King Kai's. And then it cuts to the ending scene, which is pretty much the Supreme Kai and Elder Kai looking up in the sky at Fear, and they're sensing Lord Beerus. So we know Beerus is coming. They're about to retell the Battle of Gods arc. Then after that, they're about to retell the Resurrection F arc, and then on to the tournament arc. Overall, I really enjoyed this episode. Like I said, very more that it was dubbed than I watched it when it was subbed. And for those of you who don't watch the Japanese dub, there's a lot of cool shit coming later on. Gonna take a while for it to get dubbed, but you know. But it will be worth the wait. So overall, I give this probably about a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10 for an episode. I really enjoyed it. It was nice. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!